Some places don't scream when they die.
They just
Stop singing.
In 2003, an amusement park in Ohio closed its gates without warning. 22 years later, the carousel horses are still frozen mid-gallop, waiting for riders who will never return. But what I found on a bench near the exit changed everything I thought I knew about abandoned places. I'm standing at the rusted gates of Wonderland Park in rural Ohio. My paws rest on metal that hasn't moved in over 20 years. Behind me, somewhere in the fog, a carousel waits in silence. This place opened in 1962. A family named the Harringtons poured everything they had into building a small dream 12 rides, a snack bar that served the best funnel cakes in 3 counties, and a carousel shipped all the way from Germany. For 2 decades, this park was where summer began and ended for thousands of kids. But dreams have competition. By the mid-80s, corporate theme parks with bigger rides and flashier attractions started pulling families away. The Harringtons kept the gates open anyway. They lowered prices. They added free parking. They stayed open later. But you can't compete with Empire when you're running on hope. The final season was 2003. On closing day, they didn't announce it. The staff just locked up like any other night. The "See You Soon" sign on the ticket booth became a promise nobody could keep. 22 years later, I'm here to see what remains. The main path is barely visible now. Grass grows through cracked asphalt in thick clumps. My backpack brushes against overgrown bushes as I move deeper into the park. Everything smells like wet earth and rust. The first thing I find is the ticket booth. It's a small wooden structure with a faded yellow awning that sags in the middle. The paint is peeling in long strips, revealing bare wood underneath. Inside the window, I can still see a roll of tickets on the counter, pink and blue, stubs still attached. Someone's hand was the last to touch that roll, and they had no idea it would stay there forever. I move past the booth toward the carousel building. It's a circular structure with a pointed roof, like a tiny castle. The doors are missing, just empty frames leading into darkness. I step inside. The carousel horses are still here, frozen mid-gallop. Their painted eyes stare straight ahead at nothing. White horses, black horses, one with gold trim that's now green with oxidation. The poles they're mounted on lean at strange angles, like the whole mechanism shifted and gave up halfway through the collapse. Paint peels from their bodies in colorful strips, red, yellow, blue, curling away from the wood like flower petals. I reach out and touch one horse's mane. The wood is soft, rotting. My paw leaves a small indent. Behind the carousel, sunlight streams through holes in the roof. Vines hang down like curtains, swaying slightly in the breeze that moves through this hollow space. I can almost hear the music. Almost. Outside again, I follow what used to be the main midway. Game booths line both sides, their fronts boarded up or torn open by weather and time. Prizes still sit on shelves inside one booth. Stuffed bears and plastic toys, sun-bleached to pale ghosts of their original colors. Nobody came to claim them. Nobody came to pack them away. The roller coaster rises ahead of me like the skeleton of some ancient creature. The Thunderbolt, they called it. Not very tall by modern standards, but it must have felt huge to the kids who rode it. The tracks disappear into fog about halfway up the first hill. Wooden support beams lean against each other. Some have fallen completely. The coaster cars are gone, probably sold for scrap years ago. I climb onto the loading platform. The metal safety bars on the empty seats are frozen in the up position, waiting for riders who will never come. Then I see something that stops me. On a bench near the coaster exit, partially hidden by tall grass, sits a small stuffed rabbit, gray fur, button eyes. One ear is torn. Who left you here? And why did nobody come back? I pick up the stuffed rabbit carefully. It's damp and dirty, but someone loved this once. I can tell by how worn it is, the kind of worn that comes from being held tight, carried everywhere, chosen over and over. Maybe it fell during the last visit. Maybe a child cried looking for it in the parking lot while parents promised they'd come back tomorrow to search. But tomorrow the park was closed, and the day after that, I set the rabbit back on the bench gently. Something should stay where they were left. Moving toward the back of the park, I find the Ferris wheel. It's the largest structure, still standing a massive circle of metal against the afternoon sky. Vines wrap around every spoke. Every seat climbing higher and higher like they're trying to reach the top. Some of the passenger cars have fallen. Others hang at odd angles, swaying slightly when the wind picks up. I don't get too close. This structure isn't safe anymore, but I can see enough. The wheel is painted red and white, though most of the white has turned gray. At the very top, one car sits perfectly level, as if frozen at the peak of its rotation. I imagine the view from up there during the park's golden years. All the lights, all the people, all the noise and joy spread out below. Near the Ferris wheel is the snack bar. The roof is partially collapsed, but the menu board is still readable. Funnel cakes, corn dogs, cotton candy, ice cream, root beer, floats. The prices are impossibly low by today's standards. The counter where families stood in line is covered in leaves and broken glass. Behind the snack bar, I find something unexpected. A small maintenance shed, door hanging open. Inside are tools, work schedules still pinned to a corkboard, and photographs, dozens of them. Staff photos from different years. The Harrington family standing in front of the carousel on opening day. Groups of teenage employees making funny faces. Kids on rides. Families eating together at picnic tables. These photos weren't left by accident. Someone put them here deliberately. Someone who knew the park was closing and wanted to preserve these moments in a place that meant something. I look closely at one photo. It shows the carousel at night, all lit up, spinning with children on the horses. Their faces are blurred by motion and joy. In the background, I can see Mr. Harrington watching, with his arms crossed, smiling. This was his world. Every light, every bolt, every painted horse, he knew them all by name. The corporate parks that replaced this place don't have that. They have shareholders, seasonal workers who leave after 3 months, rides designed by engineers who never see them in person. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's different. And what was lost when this park closed wasn't just a business. It was someone's entire life's work, a family's dream, a small piece of a community's identity. I step back outside. The sun is setting now, casting long shadows across the empty midway. The Ferris wheel glows orange in the dying light. For just a moment, I can see what this place was. Not the rust, not the decay, but the laughter, the music, the smell of funnel cakes, the feeling of summer starting. People talk about abandoned places like they're mysteries waiting to be solved, like there's always a dark secret or a dramatic ending. But sometimes there's no mystery at all. Sometimes things just end because the world moved on, because circumstances changed, because time is cruel to small dreams in a world that celebrates only the biggest ones. Wonderland Park didn't close because of tragedy or scandal. It closed because it couldn't compete, and maybe that's sadder, because it means this place did everything right and still lost. But standing here among the ruins, I realized something else. These rides may be silent now, but they lived. They spun and climbed and thrilled for 40 years. Thousands of kids rode that carousel. Thousands of families made memories here. Those moments didn't disappear when the gates closed. They're still out there, carried in the minds of people who are parents now, grandparents now, telling their own children about the little park in Ohio where summer tasted like funnel cakes and the Ferris wheel touched the sky. Not everything has to last forever to matter. Sometimes the quiet endings are okay too. Sometimes things fade, and that's just what happens. It doesn't erase what they were. I adjust my backpack and take one last look at the carousel. The horses stand in their eternal gallop, going nowhere, going everywhere, caught in that space between motion and stillness where all lost things live. The sun has almost set. It's time to go. But there are more places like this, more stories waiting in the silence. More buildings and objects and spaces that once meant everything to someone and now mean nothing to everyone except time and nature. Next, I'm heading south to a place where the walls remember singing, where empty classrooms still smell faintly of chalk and old books, where a community's heart stopped beating, but somehow the building refuses to forget. Some places hold on to their ghost tighter than others. I'll see you there.